Bill Maher talks about how communism is infecting the Democrat Party. Now, for us on the right, we've seen this coming way, way, way in advance. This has been something that has been in the making now for several years, and we've been telling sane Democrats, sane liberals, not the folks on the far left, that if you don't stop this scourge that is infecting your party, you're going to end up regretting it. And so Bill was on his show recently and talked a little bit about that. Let's check that out.
And finally, new rule: Donald Trump has told 1 trillion lies, but when he says the Democratic Socialists of America are actually communist, that's not one of them. And it's not...
He's not wrong there. He's not wrong.
Not hard to prove it, just by quoting the DSA and their candidates. J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation was, oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play.
That is true. Now, I saw a ton of videos after Bill Maher had J.D. Vance on his show, and all of them in the thumbnails, all of them were, what, Bill Maher's voting Republican. Bill Maher's a Republican. That is not, in fact, what Bill Maher said. He's absolutely correct here. He said that his vote was in play. And actually, as he was going on and interviewing JD made the joke that he was probably going to lose him after his comment on the fraud in the election back in 2020. So I don't know that Bill Maher will be voting Republican. I could see Bill Maher voting independent. Maybe if Marco Rubio runs in 2028, Bill Maher will vote for him, but that remains to be seen. Let's see what else he had to say.
And here's why. Because not a week goes by where I don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that face opens its mouth, the Communist Manifesto or some other crazy shit comes out. Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism. New York Mayor Mamdani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China.
Now, Hassan Piker actually attended a university recently, and there was a whole bunch of controversy around that because when he attended the university, he was actually dressed in attire that very much resembled Mao when he was there. And actually, he was denounced by the Democratic Party at that university, and they came out with a statement later saying that they weren't allowed in the auditorium where he was presenting. They had not signed off on it. It was a whole thing, and he's just batshit crazy. I know Asmongold's talked a lot about Hassan Piker. I saw a video recently where he was talking about Hassan flying very close to the sun, and yeah, I happen to agree with that. I think if Hassan's not careful, his extremist ways are going to get him banned from all platforms very soon.
Mamdani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said, seize the means of production. Mamdani has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production.
Believe people when they tell you who they are.
Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism. Now the coalition within the DSA, called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance, and I must take them at their word when their words include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism.
And if you look there, the Marxist Unity Group, I'm not too familiar with this group. That's a hammer and sickle. That's the old guard of the Soviet Union, which was absolutely a communist party. So again, when people are telling you who they are, you should believe them. And if Democrats don't wake up, and I'm starting to see some of them, some of the more middle ground Democrats slowly starting to wake up. Bill's been on this front for a long time. Bill's a classic liberal, classic Democrat. And even Bill Maher, for all his views, and I don't agree with Bill Maher on a lot, but I do like Bill Maher. I think he's honest most of the time, is still not extreme enough for the current Democrat Party.
What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists? Oh, yeah, Sia Weaver did that. Yes. Good, I'm glad you're shocked.
If you didn't hear there was somebody in the audience that actually audibly gasped when Bill read that. And that just goes to show how disconnected the average person is from politics today. They're not involved. They're not reading the news every day. They're not tuning into these extreme Twitch streamers and things like that. They're not following the Democratic Socialists of America. Most normal people just want common sense things. We can disagree on some things, but the Democratic Socialists of America are an absolute crazy left-wing sect of the Democrat Party that is slowly, or maybe not so slowly, taking over control of the Democrat Party. You're starting to see more and more socialists get elected to office, and this really has to do with how this appeals to a younger audience and this younger generation. And if we don't start getting more involved in these culture wars and getting involved in things like schools and universities, these places are infected, and the far left extremists of the Democrat Party run all of these institutions. They run entertainment, they run the music industry, they run schools. They've got their hands in everything that your kids are involved in, and they are brainwashing your children into thinking that communism and socialism is the answer to all of life's problems, and it's not. It's never worked anywhere.
People got to realize this is going on.
100%.
And finally,
so that's it. I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below and let me know if you'd like to see more content like this on Smoke Signals and Side Quests. We'll chat soon.